Welcome back to another video. If you've been around here for a while, you know that we are working on this bus right here and we're putting together a bus build series. But if you've also been around here, you might know Dale, who is actually a really good friend of mine, and he's actually gonna be heading out back on the road. So before he goes, I wanted to help him out on some projects, and one of the projects is actually gonna be upgrading his solar system, and I'm gonna let Dale actually explain what we're doing today as I get started.
What's up, guys? It's Dale again. I've been out here helping Mike for the last 3 months on the bus build. As many of y'all know, you've come to know me as a supervisor. You can do whatever you want. You're a half-grown man, and I'm just your supervisor. So this is our day off. Get out of my campsite, all right? I'm just a good friend of Mike's, and I've been trying to help him any way I can. And in that spirit, he's agreed to help me with some of the things I need. And he asked me, what can I do to help you? And I said, well, if you want to help me upgrade my solar system, that's what it really needs. Some of the things that I'm going to be upgrading on my system are laid out here on the bed so that y'all can see them. I am putting in a new combiner box, which will go on the roof, which all the wires from the solar panel run into, and then they'll come into the truck. I'm adding a DC to DC battery charger, which will allow the solar batteries and my house batteries to charge from my truck battery when it's running. I'm also putting in a transfer switch, which allows you to go from your solar to, if you're plugged in somewhere, automatically without having to change a bunch of stuff. And then I got new solar wire that we're going to be installing. We're also, back here in the box is another solar panel, so I'll be going from 500 to 600 watts of solar. Other than that, what I've got to do is, since all my solar is underneath my bed, all the wire, the inverter and that type of stuff is under the bed, what I'm going to be doing for the next few minutes is simply cleaning all that out so we have an area to work. Okay, got the plexiglass removed, which exposes these green and red wires. Here are the wires coming in from the solar panels. We're going to be replacing some of these. So I got this off, pretty much got everything out of here. Let me show you, if I can get a shot of this outside, some of what I was talking about as far as the wire degrading over time. As you can see, some of the outer coating's starting to come off. So that's the main reason things are going to get replaced. There again, I'll also be replacing the combiner boxes that you can see here with the newer ones so that all of the wires will come into one box. When I did this, the way I did it is not really recommended, and I won't go into why or what I did, but just trust me. The new upgrades are going to be 10 times better than what I have right here.
So as Dale explained, I am just super happy to be able to help him out in this project, and the first thing on my list is actually going to be starting to decommission the old system, take it all apart. So I'm going to have to remove all these panels to get to the wiring. So first things first is let's start taking this thing apart so we can put it back together.
While Mike's up on the roof taking loose the solar panels, I'll be inside removing the mattress and the top of the bed frame so that we'll be able to get to all of that when it's time.
All right, it didn't take very long, but we have all of the panels and the roof is completely clean. So now at this point, what we can do is we can start actually figuring out and learning how we want to actually put these in, because we're going to be doing a little bit of a different layout because we have different wire and we're going to be laying it differently. But if you noticed, someone was actually in the time lapse. I want to introduce you to someone. This here is Dalton. Dalton is a friend of mine who lives up here in the Adirondacks, and he was interested in doing some solar work. So I invited him over to come on by on Monday to help out with Dale's project. And you're going to be seeing a bit more of him, you know, and helping out around here. So thanks, Dalton.
Absolutely, happy to be here.
All right, let's go get some of these panels wired and figure out what exactly we're going to do. While me and Dalton are prepping all the solar panels to get them wired, I just saw Dale doing something and I thought I just had to get this on film.
What?
Hey Dale, you're always—
You had to get on film that I was doing something? I'm
No,
doing something all the time.
Dale, you always yell at me for laying under buses, but now you're laying under your box truck.
Hey, someplace, you know, what is it you say all the time?
I don't know.
A good day under the box truck is a better day than a bad day at work, or whatever the heck it is. Get back to work, man.
He's very right. A bad day under the box truck is always a better day than a good day at work. So good thing that this is our day at work, is pretty much just like helping Dale out and wire some solar panels. We're not complaining right now. But Dale,
What?
have fun under that box truck. We are just moving right on along here. We're starting to wire up all the panels. The ones that are flipped over are already completed. We've just got these last two to go. And then what I just did is got all these wires stripped down, which essentially just getting all the ends of the wires kind of stripped and safetied off, so that what we can do is bring that into the combiner box and then down into the actual box truck. So step one, we're almost there. Step two is gonna get them all fed down inside. So Dalton and I just finished up all of the solar panels on the roof, and we got them all tied back to this combiner box right here. It is such a nice thing to know that Dale's gonna be driving down the road now, and all of his wires are wired up correctly. They're the correct wire size, and they're also UV protected. That was really one thing that really we needed to fix here, was that the wires that were previously used were good wires in terms of sizing, but they weren't UV protected, so they were starting to deteriorate, and all the insulating was starting to come off and exposing copper. So what we did is we switched it out for this wire right here, which is UV protected, into the box and then down into the actual box truck. So the wires coming up from the ceiling actually come up right here, which will be behind Dale's molding, so they're gonna be hidden back in this little channel right here. But really what we have to do at this point is gonna be running the wires down over this way and into his already existing MPPT controller. The nice thing is that this MPPT controller is already rated for the amount of panels on the roof, so we don't have to switch this part out. All that we have to do is get the new wiring in, plug it on in, and then wire that down into the batteries, and then Dale's gonna have a completely rebuilt solar system. And at that point, then we gotta do is dig into that box right there and start messing around with some of that electrical to make sure that it's all put back and put back correctly. Well, me and Dalton just got off of the roof, and you know, we're working up there trying to get the solar panels going. And look where I found Dale again.
Hey, you know what?
What?
This is a great place to take a nap, because a great supervisor has a great crew, and I don't need to watch everything y'all are doing. Why did you wake me up?
I think you're just trying to lay underneath box trucks all the time.
It's a lot better view under here than what I have to look out there. Have you looked in the mirror lately?
Have I what?
Have you looked in the mirror lately?
No?
Well, you should. What's up, guys? It's Dale again. Just thought it'd be a good time to do a quick update and review of what we've done so far on the upgrades to my solar and my electrical. Yesterday we spent the day on the roof installing one new solar panel and rewiring the panels that were already up there, put a new combiner box in. The main thing to remember on your solar, like I said, what we did, the wire size that I had originally was fine, but the UV protection was not up to par. So we put in new solar wire and a new combiner box. The one thing that I didn't do on my old system was the fact that once you go into the combiner box, you have to remember that you've gone from, you know, wire that's gauged for a 100-watt panel to all of a sudden now you have 6 panels together, so you need to increase the size of the wire. And hopefully at some point we will get this turnaround, get all this mess of wire organized, and it'll look really pretty. That's pretty much it for me. In the meantime, Mike just showed up and we're about to get started.
I'm so excited.
Some of this is not going to work out.
What do you mean?
Well, the camera's all wonky.
Is it still recording?
Yeah.
Then it will work, Dale.
Oh, okay. Well.
All right, so we're gonna now, at this point, since the roof is completely done, we're gonna start working on the inside box here. So Dale already did a bit of explaining of what's going on here, but pretty much there's 2 big things that we're gonna be doing. We're gonna be fixing up his 12-volt system, which is right here, just because it's not grounded out exactly the best way that it possibly could be, so we want to make sure Dale's safe and get everything all safety through. The second thing that was in this unit was that he didn't have a transfer switch installed, so it had to be manually plugged in and plugged out every time he had his shore power or his solar system running. So what I wanted to do is install a transfer switch for him so that he didn't, 1, have to do it manually anymore, but 2, for safety reasons, if for some reason he ever forgot to actually manually unplug it, he has a possibility of backfeeding the system, which is definitely not safe, and it's not going to be good at any RV parks or residential houses, because the last thing we want to do is be sending power back into the wire going to the shore power connection. So those are 2 things we're going to be doing today, and we got Dalton back here again helping out, so we're going to get right on into this. All right, so we had a stop the other day, but I wanted to quickly go over what exactly we did and why we did it. So a few of the things that we ended up fixing and kind of changing up around here is Dale actually had an old RV 120 panel that he pulled out of an old RV. It was probably like 20 or something years old. There was quite a bit of corrosion in that box. So we just simply rewired his entire 120 system right here and then cleaned it all up with new wire so that it's actually updated. Also, right here, we installed a transfer switch because I know I previously mentioned that Dale was actually manually unplugging and plugging in his shore power and solar power and inverter, and that's just not exactly fun because you always have to move the bed, and they make devices that are, you know, literally made. They're automatic transfer switches. They're made for that reason. So we threw one of these in right here so that Dale could then, pretty much, when he plugs in his shore power, the inverter is going to shut off and it's going to run off of shore power, and vice versa. When he unplugs from shore power, it's going to automatically notice that and click back to the inverter, so he never has to open this bed area again to switch from what type of power he's going to be using. And then the last thing that I did, which I don't know, I'm just pretty happy that we got this one done right here, which is super hard to see because it's super dark, but we'll get closer. Right here, we wired in a new 12-volt panel, and the reason why we did that was because Dale actually had a small one that was just mounted right around here on a 2x4 but it wasn't sized large enough for the amount of circuits he had. I happen to have an extra one from a previous project, so we rewired the whole 12-volt system and made it completely clean and good. And also, the nice thing is that now Dale's got a big open area. So like this whole area can now just be full storage. All the wires are tucked away. And honestly, that is the best thing that you can do because storage is prime real estate in tiny spaces. So cleaning up the wiring and tucking it away safely is gonna give Dale a lot more storage space, which I'm sure he'll appreciate in the future. But at this point, the next thing on the list and the last thing on the list is I really want to get this DC to DC Renogy charger in. So what this is going to do is essentially connect his vehicle batteries and house batteries and charge while he is driving. So I got to get this guy installed real quick, and then Dale will be ready to charge while driving. And unfortunately, you know, charge while he's driving home. That was also really sad to say. All right, at this point, we just finished up getting our wires pulled up to the top. Now, this is gonna sound, no, it just is, it's pretty easy. All we really have to do at this point is connect them to that side, out ports come out that side, and then that positive and negative, we're simply just gonna run straight into the battery. And this unit right here is going to be able to regulate charging the batteries. So it's actually really, it is very plug and play, but it's time to plug and play and get this thing installed because Dale here, Dale, where are you? He's right there.
I'm sorry. What can I do for you?
Oh, I was just telling him how we're gonna get you this thing installed because you're gonna head back out on the road.
Don't cry, Mike. You're a half-grown man.
That's true.
Half-grown men don't cry. They sob into their pillows at night.
Dale's finishing up most of his packing, and I just ran a wire to right here actually. So before I mentioned that this DC to DC converter needs a connection to an ignition to actually run, so that the problem is that we can't find an ignition very quickly, and Dale's got to leave within the hour. So what I ended up doing was I wired just a butt splice with a little 16 gauge wire that he can use in the future. So essentially Dale's gonna have to leave, and the DC to DC converter is not actually gonna be working right now. But when he gets back to Florida, you know, he can find an ignition switch, tie right into this one, and then just run it longer and run it to where it needs to go. So Dale, I just want to say as I lay underneath the school bus, it's been super awesome to have you around for the past 3 months. And this is probably underneath of your box truck is probably the best place to say, you know, hey Dale, I'm gonna miss having you around, and I hope you have a safe drive back. And I hope that this solar system that we just rebuilt is really gonna help you out on the road and keep you moving. So can't wait till I see you next time, man. All right, and now that we got the emotional sob story out of the way, we can actually finalize and install this unit. I've got all the wires run, all the connections are made. All we gotta do is literally just put some screws together and this thing's gonna be done. Put Dale's bed back together, and see you, Dale. It's done.
Thank you, sir.
It just, I don't know if you should be saying thank you because now you're leaving. But, all done. So, let's get you packed up and get you back on the road, because the faster you leave, the faster you come back. This is the moment that we've all not been waiting for. At this point, Dale's solar system is pretty much 99% done. There are gonna be 1 or 2 things that he's gonna have to do when he gets back to Florida. But it's time to say goodbye to the box truck. Which way do you think you'll go home?
Well, I want to, you know, I'm not a big fan of New York City, so I don't want to go down 95.
No, don't take 90. I think you should go 81. That doesn't 81 take you down through Shenandoah, Virginia? Don't you have a GPS, Dale?
No, man, I have a Garmin. Well, that technically it is. I'm old school. That's my problem when I go out traveling. I set a course, you know, but about halfway there I go, oh, let's change it. And just say reroute. And then, you know, there's no telling where I'll wind up.
Either way, I think Dale's probably going to make it back to Florida via California at this point. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see where he actually ends up and get an update, you know, when he arrives home. Dale, can you send us a clip when you get home?
I'll try.
Goodbye, Dale.
Bye, Mike. It's been fun.
Bye, Dale.
It's been fun, Mike. See ya. Gotta go.
Have a safe drive.
I will.
This is sad.
This is sad.
This is so sad. What are you gonna do?
Hang out with you.
Yeah.
Well, at this point, there's only one rig in the driveway, and Dale just headed out, but at least he now has a perfectly good updated solar system that's definitely gonna help him out on the road. But I've been talking to my sister, and we've been looking at the winter. Maybe we'll go meet up with Dale and go on another trip. So it is not the last we will see of Dale. We are good friends, and I can't wait till the next time I get to go see him. But I hope you enjoyed this video, maybe learned something about solar, maybe just saw something that maybe you were doing on your own rig, or you just had fun watching us fool around and work on Dale's box truck. But either way, thanks for hanging out with us. Thanks for you know, hanging out with Dale and being friends with him. And we'll see you on the next one where that bus over there is back in action.